Man, I can't stop making this gun handling mistake. If that sounds like you, you've come to the right place. What's up, guys? My name is Epifania. I'm a USPSA Grandmaster, and I'm the owner of Systematic Performance Concepts. In this video, I have 5 common gun handling mistakes that people make often that slows down their times, that ruins their times. It's a simple thing that you could fix too. It doesn't require a lot of effort, but it's just something to pay attention to. So let's start discussing the 5 things that we can look for to avoid. Let's start with number 1. Number 1, very commonly, people are not reacting to the beep fast enough. So it's not an uncommon thing where I see newer shooters, even some seasoned people, even myself at times, where the beep goes off and then they draw the gun, right? You guys should be able to hear that. So the beep is going to go off here and then you're going to see my hands move. That's great, except I've now lost 3 to 4 tenths of a second because I'm just not responding fast enough to the beep. So what do we want to do? We want to respond fast to the beep by thinking about the letter B in beep, responding to the letter B, or thinking about how the beep starts, has like a peak volume, and then ends. We want to respond at the very beginning where before it gets totally loud. If we can think about that, that's going to give us the opportunity to respond much faster and get free time. That's free time for us with no penalty, right? So if I do this, I'll put this in smart timer and hopefully it'll get it. If I react late to the beep, first shot is a 198 it looked like. I could be wrong there. Let's respond immediately. 0.95. And I waited way long for that. Most people react to the very end of the beep or even after it's done. It's a great opportunity for you guys to be able to gain back time. How can we practice that? Simple as this. So if I go into, put my timer someplace where my support hand would go, when the beep goes off, I'm going to slap the timer and get a grip on my gun. 2 hands move at the same time. This hand slaps the timer. I registered a time of 0.19 there. My goal is to get that under 0.25, right? 0.21. When you're reacting this quickly, it's going to make a difference, 0.26 there. I'm going to go wrists above shoulders. It's going to add a little time to it just because of the distance I have to move. But still not too bad, 0.29. Right, 0.27. Actually, not as bad as I thought it would be, honestly. I thought it would be like 0.30. You guys can see if I'm reacting immediately to the beep and moving my hands, both hands at the same time quickly, I'm going to have free time gained just from that process. If you guys are sitting in the 120s, 130s for your draw, chances are this one little thing will probably solve that for you and get you at or under a second. I had a student yesterday. We were able to get him consistently under a second with A-zone hits in the 0.9 range. So big, and this was the main thing. His draw was very solid. It was just this one thing. We fixed that 3, 4 tenths of a second back immediately. So that's a great one to focus on. Now let's go to the next one. All right, so let's talk about another common mistake that newer shooters make when it comes to gun handling. A very common thing is that people are trying to get to the target so quickly, their grip is not ready to shoot when they get there. Guys, if you're the person where you shoot a 1-shot draw at a certain time, and when you do 2 shots or more, your draw time automatically goes up 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second, this is you. So the key here is that as we're presenting the gun, we're pushing the gun out, but we haven't made a grip. We haven't started to form our grip on the gun. So we're coming out and the grip is starting to be formed. And if you really tighten up, you'll find that you pull the gun left, especially if you're shooting quickly for the first shot. But what commonly happens is I get up on target and then the brain goes like this. The brain says, we're going to shoot more than 1 shot. am I ready to shoot? And it goes, okay, let me check. Does the grip feel okay? Okay, comes back up to the brain. Yes, we're ready to shoot. Boom, right? All that process takes 3 to 5/10ths of a second, right? Imagine you enter positions or you're drawing or you're doing reloads and you could fire immediately. Your grip is ready to shoot. If that's the case, you're gonna save tons of time compared to what you've been doing. So what's a good way we can practice this? Presentation process. I have other videos on this, but simple. Fingers, palm, pressure, leverage. Fingers contact first, then the palm touches. Pressure's applied by pulling the fingers to the palm and pushing the palm to the fingers. Gives you a lot of leverage on the grip panel. And then as we present out, the elbows roll just a little bit, and that locks the gun in place with a vise. Lastly speaking, I'm gonna push more out than up. I'm not gonna try to do this. I'm not gonna really swing low. I'm gonna try to push more straight out and then let the gun rise up at the very end. This allows my grip to be ready here, and then I'm just waiting for here to allow the dot to settle into the target and shoot immediately. This is a huge opportunity for you guys. 3 to 5/10ths of a second every time the gun comes back in and goes out. That's a huge savings for you guys. Next common problem that I see a lot of students have, a lot of shooters have, that's affecting their scores and their times, is looking for your hits on the target instead of calling shots based on what you're seeing. I've talked about shot calling in some of my previous videos. A couple ways we can do it. One is off the trigger brake. That's the quickest, but there's potential that you could, as before the shot breaks, move the gun off target. There is potential for that. Now that allows us to use it on targets where we have room for error, or if we're the kind of person that has the patience to wait, totally a perfectly acceptable way to call shots. We also have trigger lift, meaning as soon as the shot is fired, the trigger is being reset by the firing hand. Where the dot was when that happened, that can give you a pretty good indication of where the shot happened. I personally like to use that in dry fire because my tendency is I'll get a little bit, with the trigger brake, I'll start to leave the target a little early. So this just causes me to have enough patience to wait long enough. It also matches up with live fire pretty well. Because in live fire we have recoil, I prefer to use the dot lift where the dot starts to move up off the target as my indication, hey, this is approximately where the shot went. I don't need it to be perfect. A 2 to 3 inch circle is about what I'm going to be looking at there. So, but understanding, hey, it's probably going to be within this area, huge help. The goal is I need to make the visual connection between the target, my gun, where the dot was on the target and where it lifted from. A lot of people do the opposite, especially in the beginning, where they're not sure what happened. So they're shooting and they're looking for the hits. Guys, on easy targets, you might be able to see your hits, but as the targets get further back, it's going to be harder to see them. So something that's very important is that you learn to make the connection between where your vision was on target, where the gun was and the dot was on that target, and where it lifted from, in order to get you more confident with what you're seeing. Having to look for the hits, it's going to cost you more time. And then there are going to be times where you shoot 2 good shots, but you didn't quite see the second one on target. So you're like, you come back to it and look. Huge, huge time saver and a huge confidence booster also. And if you think about it from a defensive perspective, you shoot somebody, God forbid, you get into an encounter where you have to use your firearm, you're not going to see the bullet holes, right? So you have to know how to properly understand the visual connection between what the target is, where your gun was, and what you're seeing in order to make that happen. So huge opportunity there for many people. I see a lot of people, once they get this concept down, their shooting speed goes up tremendously, their confidence goes up tremendously. They fire makeups when appropriate immediately, and you see a different shooter emerge when they do this. So let's get on to the next one. When you're doing a reload, do you look like you're doing the Maraca? Like you have a Maraca in your hand, you're shaking it? If so, this next one's for you. A lot of times people think that when you're reloading, that you have to do something other than either keep it straight or move the gun to the reload position and release the mag firmly, right? So you'll see a lot of people do this. They'll eject the mag and it'll kind of start to fall out, and they'll do something like that to try to get it to fall out faster. Guys, that doesn't work. I call that the Maraca. And I've done it myself. I've done it myself back in my earlier days. when I didn't know any better. So if that's you, where you're anything other than straight or toward the reload position, that's all you need for the mag to fall, right? Make sure you punch the mag release, kind of like you punch the dot on an exclamation point. Boom, punch that. And understand this, for me, with my gun, you got to test this with your gun. With my gun, falls out straight. If I angle a little bit, falls out good. If I angle a little more, this is about the reload position. If I angle a little more, still, see, oh, this one starts to get caught, and this is one of the plastic mags, so this won't get caught as easily as my other mag would, right? So, and think about this too. Anytime you're away from the reload position and this mag is coming up, you're trying to catch two moving targets together. That's going to make the reload much harder. The goal is, as soon as you're done shooting, the gun smoothly comes to the position and the gun is waiting for you here. I'm looking at the bottom line of the grip, this little half moon in my mag well here. And this is gonna, once it's here, this mag is coming up, it's giving me a place to guide the magazine to. So, simple way to solve this, simple way to get used to doing this. There's two things. One, do reloads without the mag in the gun. If you do reloads without the mag in the gun, this is gonna simplify the path of movement, right? You won't have as much of that going on because there's no mag to fall. Now, key to that, a couple things. One, gun's gonna feel a little different in terms of weight. Two, you still have to absolutely press the mag button. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. And occasionally, you do have to make sure that the mag is falling properly when you do this. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up not for success, but for failure. But in order to get rid of any hitches or side-to-side shifting, no mag well in the gun is going to make a big difference. Number two, practice dropping the mag in this way. So practice micro drill, 1-2 minutes a session, set a timer and just do this. Practice bringing the gun to the reload position, pressing the mag firmly, and understanding what that looks like. Because that's going to give you an efficient and effective path so your eyes can spot the reload earlier, the gun's in position earlier, you have more time to guide your hand up to the gun, and as you get faster, that starts to matter a ton. So guys, that is going to help you tremendously. Stop doing the Maraca and start being efficient. Let's go on to the next one. So, you're the kind of person, when a moving reload happens, you end up getting to the position and you're standing there fumbling around with your gun. If so, this one's for you. A lot of times when we talk about moving reloads, people prioritize the movement way too much. So I've done this with a couple of students now. I've done this with myself, where I practice two different styles of reloading with movement. Doesn't matter the movement length, honestly. I've come to learn. Method one, let's say it's a long movement. Method one is to grab the mag and run to the position and then insert the mag as you're entering the position. That works well for a lot of people. It's not something that if you're doing it well that you need to get away from. However, in my testing, method one and method two end up being about the same. And maybe that's because my reloads are very fast, but it is something to consider. But I've done it with a couple of students and they've had very similar results too. Method two is if I'm reloading, as soon as I'm done, I'm trying to get that reload done as quickly as I can get it done, within a step. And then I'm running as hard as I can. And I found for me personally that method two, where I'm trying to get the bullets in the gun as soon as I can, trying to get the reload done as quickly as possible, that gives me the same times or even better times than method one. And my grip is already, like, I am running, my grip is ready to shoot much earlier. I don't have to worry about building my grip when I could potentially be shooting. I even practiced this with and tested this with moving up range, meaning there's an up range movement where you have to turn and go or turn and go, right? I even practiced it where I finish the shot, I do the reload as I'm walking backward, and then I start moving. And that time ended up being the same, which is I didn't think it would be that way, but it ends up being that way. So when you're doing your reloads, think about getting the reload done as quickly and as efficiently as possible, ideally within a step or two. This way you can focus on running, having your grip ready to shoot, and being able to deliver hits on target sooner. A lot of times this is what people do, even on close reloads. If the target is only 2 steps away, you don't have to do anything other than, as soon as you're done shooting, get the reload done, literally walk to the next target. It makes a huge difference when you do it that way, because you're ready to shoot earlier. Even before the target's available, you're able to shoot. And that makes a big difference in your times and your ability to deliver better performances, right? So I would advise you guys to test for yourself. The only thing in my testing is this. If I'm doing the uprange movement, as long as I'm walking back while doing the reload, the times ended up being the same and I had a better grip earlier. However, if I did this, where I finished and then I did the reload and then I moved, that was slower. That was 3 to 5 tenths of a second slower. So the key is that you're making casual movement, AKA taking a step or two while very, very comfortably walking. That's what the deciding factor is in terms of keeping the times the same and giving myself or giving the students that I've worked with the same results while having a better grip earlier. So a lot of times people will do this, they'll finish shooting, right? And the next target's right here, step or two away, and then they'll do this. They'll get here, the target's already available, and then they're just standing there trying to get the reload done. All you've done is made the reload priority even more important, right? So do it the opposite way. Focus on getting the reload done as you're just casually moving to the next spot, and I bet you'll find better results and more consistency. One last thing with the reload with movement. There's something that I call the reload medley. Now, that's a simple exercise I came up with in order to work on this. Simply speaking, start aimed on a target. As soon as you press the trigger, do a step and do the reload, right? For me, it was a medley, meaning I did one of each way. So I did it right to left to right, boom, right to left, forward, boom, backward, so on and so forth. Do 5 or 10 reps each way you can think of. Forward, backward, left, right, diagonals, starting on one target, reloading, aiming at another target. Spend about 5 minutes doing this and focus on having the reload done within a step or two, and you're gonna find you're gonna make some big progress fast. So that's gonna help out a ton. And that is the last one for our video today. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. 5 common gun handling mistakes and how to solve them. Hope you enjoyed it. Have the best blessed day. Take care, guys.